Okay, so I'm recording this video before I do the attendance for week 11, and I know we've been talking about this code review session, and I wanted to actually put some content down to give you something to look at. I'll go over it in this video, but I want to be clear that it opens on October 16th, okay? And what you have to, students have to be in this, and I say this here, right? And let's just go through it. In our class, a code review is my way to assess how well you are progressing in your knowledge of JavaScript. Starting October 19th. Okay, so it's actually, I'm going to change this to October 19th. So if I was to pull up the calendar, right, in this case, actually we're on the 5th. So starting on, actually it should be the 20th. The 20th is actually when it is, because when I started laying out the dates, that's actually when it is. It's the 20th, which is a Friday. All right. Well, I'll start scheduling students for that meeting, right? They're 30-minute sessions, and the student needs to have the following in order to start the process of scheduling a code review with me, right? You need to be current with weekly work and have completed step 1, 2, and 3 in the decision app development. Okay, so that's the requirements. So what this means is if you're not up to date and you still, right, and you come to this after this point, then I will have updated some of this to reflect that, but I suspect many of you will be in this round. And so know when you sign up that, it could take a couple of weeks for us to get our schedules together. So just know that going in. And I'll talk about the schedule more in depth in a minute. But actually, since we're in here, it's actually going to be the 20th. Okay. Now, by the way, if you are somebody that works ahead and wants to come in early, you can, as soon as this item opens up to you, and I'll show you that in a minute, how that happens, you can. I don't mind doing them early if you're ready. Okay, so to start the process of scheduling a session, I will give you view only to this, so you don't have to sign up. What will happen is as you submit, okay, this assignment, right, it's just a text box telling me first and which day and time. Now what I'm gonna do is basically schedule my office hours for signups. Now, I know that will not work for everybody, but for many of you it will. And so, right, so what I will do as soon as you submit, if we agree upon a date and time, then I will just come in here and say taken. That's all you will see. You won't do it, I will, because it could be, a couple of back and forth for you and I to figure this out. So just know that that's the case. Like I said, we will, if you're ready to schedule and there's, it's 2 weeks out, then it's 2 weeks out. It's okay. It's still going to cover. And that's what I talk about here down here is what content will be covered under the code reviews. But let's just go through some of the questions I think students might have that they may not have asked or that I haven't covered, right? Are code reviews optional? That really depends on your grade and what grade you hope to get in this class, right? They do account for 20% of your overall grade. So you can figure out, how well, figure out if you have to do them or not. Now, I only say this because I know that doing them can create for some folks a real anxiety, and honestly, that's not my intent. My intent is that just because it is hard to authenticate somebody's knowledge, and code reviews are a very common thing in programming, to have somebody come in, right, and ask you questions, right? And now what will it cover? It'll cover coding concepts covered so far in this course. And so, of course, that's a key issue is when you do them. For every, right, if you don't come to this until a couple weeks after, then we'll, you and I will have to figure out that part. But in general, right, here's what it's going to be, right? Cover coding concepts covered so far. The best way to study is to make sure you know how to use Chrome DevTools and be able to talk about and walk me through code from either your decision app or the carbon footprint app up to, right, week 11 challenge, the one we are doing this week. So that's why until you have completed the week 11 challenge, I wouldn't even come here, right? So, and then how will they be held? It'll either be Zoom or in my office. If you come into the office, you will most likely have to bring a laptop with you. Just because you're not going to be familiar with my setup, and you want to be on something, a keyboard you're a little more comfortable with. But but let me know. We can negotiate this part, of course, what that looks like. This is actually a duplicate. I'll get rid of that, right? If I don't do well, can I attempt the code review again? Yes, you have 2 attempts at the code review. Okay. So, first of all, just don't, if you have, and many of you have, actually, overall, the students in this class are tracking really well with the course. I actually am really pleased to how many students are actually not just keeping up, but actually doing well in this class. So I've said it before, and one of the ways to make this a little less anxiety ridden will be, if you've come in and talked to me, and if not, it might not be. But you have a window, right? Again, don't worry about if you don't, because it'll be first come, first serve. But if you have done this, and let's just look at it, because the next thing I'm going to do is attendance, and this is in week 11, right? So if you have completed, are current with the weekly work and have completed step 3, then you can go ahead and schedule your session. And so you might be worried, well, what if all the sessions are available for that following week? That's okay. Like I said, it might take a couple of weeks for us to work through all the people that are ready to do code reviews as they start, right? But don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. If you are ready here, this is the process of you and I going back and forth, because like I said, I'll work with you as much as possible. Do know, right? I don't typically work after 5 or 6 in the evening. My mornings are pretty booked. I'm a little more flexible. But anyway, just, and that's what I actually said, I thought on one of these, is like, if this doesn't, right? If none of these session days that I've put in here work for you, right? Work for your schedule, I'll do my best to work with you and figure out a day and time that will work for both of us. So that's just something we will figure out. In the past, I've had students sign up to a sheet, but I just found like there are often times we just had to figure out based on our schedules. Okay? So that's what the code review looks like. Here's the content. I start scheduling here. By the time you have come in here, I will have already had more weeks filled out. These sessions are not absolutely limited to my office hours, but the signups will be there, and then you and I will have to work together for a date and time if my office hours don't work for you. But again, I'll do my best to work with you on that. And then, read through here. I've gone over somewhat, I think, the questions that my students at this point have. Okay, if you have any more, you can also actually submit a question here. You can reach out to me directly. And actually, if you have a question and you're not ready to schedule, it'd probably be better to reach out to me directly so we can go back and forth, or come see me, or whatever mode works for you. Okay, I hope this clears up any questions you might have.